I don't know if I want to ride with the guy. Okay, let's see. Tractor's warming up. That tractor needs filled and needs warmed up. That truck needs seed to treat into this truck. And then we got to get something to fix that accident that happened last night that I got to show you guys. Well, let's go hook up to an auger. Let's bring another auger over there and you'll see why. All right, we decided to get the drills all filled. They're pretty much good to go. The little incident that I told you about, you might have to wait a second because I'm gonna get the sprayer full first and go spray a load out. Winds are good right now. It's gonna pick up this afternoon. So you guys just got to hang tight and see what happened for probably another minute or two in the video. But it'll be more like 4 or 5 hours on my end. Mixmate time. All right, behold the PTO jump rope. Hey, ay, 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 ay. Woo! That could have been a bad situation if I would have tried to throttle that up from this side. Quick explanation of what happened. I moved all this over. This is a long PTO shaft, by the way. I had it all set up. Got the tractor hooked up. I even backed it up to make sure the PTO shaft collapsed, like almost all the way, and then I let it relax just a little bit. Then I engaged the PTO, auger was running. I went over and I opened the gates on the hopper, and it was feeding, and then the engine was slowing down because I didn't have revved up high enough to run the load that was going through the auger. So then I ran over here like this, and I took a step like this. And then I did one of these maneuvers and I reached in like this and I grabbed the throttle and I just throttled it up a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. And immediately the tractor jumped that way about 1.5 feet, 2 feet. And I heard bang, 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 bang. And I shut it off as quickly as I could. And that's what happened. Can you imagine if I were standing here and tried to throttle it up? That's why I went to the other side. We determined there's no way this tractor went backwards on its own. There's no way it can go into gear. It was in neutral, it was running. Gears would grind. There's no way it could just randomly go into gear by throttling up. It's not like a power shift or anything. It's it's a clutch and a bunch of gears. So what happened was this PTO shaft, which had a slight wobble to it anyway, is a really lightweight one, really too long for what it is. Must have, when it was under load and I throttled up, the torque of it must have caused it to kind of rubber band and it turned into a big jump rope, big U. And that U pulled the tractor back as it tightened up and started doing the whole flop thing. That's what caused the tractor to move. So bottom line is, looks like we've got some oil leak in here, which I think it already was. I don't know if that's damaged at all, but the PTO on the Minneapolis looks good. So I don't think it damaged any of that. So we got to get this thing out here. It's full of fertilizer, it's heavy. We don't have another PTO shaft to drive this unit. So it's kind of a problem. So we'll get this out of here, or at least push it away as much as possible. Turn the hopper. I'll get that auger, drop it in there, and then run the truck underneath. and then we'll keep filling. All right, enough talk, more work. I'll deal with you later. Oh, turn the fuel off. All right, well, MM at least got to see a little bit of life this spring. We'll find use for that thing somewhere, but for now, it's getting retired for a couple weeks. All right, now to move this behemoth. Oh, it's got the flat tire too. I forgot about that. I guess we got a chain. Maybe I can yank it out of here with the truck. We'll try that.
Waiting for a ride. I need some seed and fertilizer, but we need to get a couple things taken care of before we get seed and fertilizer because, well, we're short on a few guys. So anyways, I see Nick's heading this way. I'll jump in with him and then I don't know if I want to ride with a guy.
Now, we'll go ahead and take the truck, put it under the auger, and then empty out that hopper as much as we can so it's lighter, move around, shovel that mound that's underneath the hopper pan, to say that. And then when we're all clean, we'll shove the auger underneath the fertilizer hopper and finish loading this truck. All right, now I gotta go treat some seed. But we gotta get this to the field because that 3725 Case IH cart needs a conveyor to fill it, as you guys have seen. So this has gotta leave the yard because Dad's far enough away now, there's no reason to drive it back every time to fill. So I'm gonna get this hooked back up to the pickup. Well, Dad's gonna take the truck, fill up with fertilizer. I'm gonna take this truck, fill it up with seed, treated seed, drop leg arms off at his rig. He's gonna start seeding, and hopefully we'll get Dad going.
By the way, he definitely deserves the Employee of the Month shirt. Everything breaks when I touch it. That's why he deserves it. It makes him feel good.
Now I found with the storm, first thing you gotta do when you get on site, if you're in the middle of seeding and you're kind of a one-man show, you don't have someone here every day, just sit here and pre-weed, start that thing immediately and put it in drive. Let the hydraulics run, let it warm up. By the time you get everything situated, it'll be ready to roll. Otherwise, you're waiting on the hydraulics to warm up. All right, let's put it in position. Okay, well, Dad's full, and Scott's full, and my stomach's half full, but I'll make it. I'm gonna drop this Batco conveyor here, and then bring the trucks over here. I gotta find someone else to help give me rides, but I'll find that person. They're out there. And then, this will be the new location to load the drills from. There's about 600 acres, kind of roughly, 300 here, another 400, 300 in that area, and we'll just fill them here. Someone want to explain this to me? What's going on there? Right there? Oh yeah, it's in a video. You can watch it by clicking on the card that pops up right now. You should go to there. It's worth it. You'll like it. Promise. No regrets.
I was just gonna do a quiz with you guys to determine which is the direction of our prevailing wind. Is that a guess? All right, cool. Some of you probably watched last fall when we had a 36-foot 11 shank ripper, a deep ripper. We pulled behind the 600 bud. I was pulling it, and so I'm actually seeding on some of the land that we did last fall. Like I said, you might have seen it in the video. I'm going to show you what I did. If you can tell, you can see every other pass that I made. So I skipped a pass, did angle, skipped a pass, did an angle, and now I'm seeding across these paths. And my purpose is just to see what the crop's response will be toward the middle of the summer and at harvest. What difference it made for us to rip 12 to 14 inches in the ground, maybe up to 16, and see if that makes a difference. The ripper was it was a zone builder subsoiler from Underfirth, and we appreciate them allowing us to try it out to see what difference it would make. This is some really heavy clay land, low topsoil, shale clay underneath, and so it's not a very productive land. So you can look across here, and we'll see if it makes a difference. And for those who wonder if we really care, I do give a rip.
Does a mouse nest increase airflow capacity or decrease? That's why we have cats. Let's grab something to go. That one. And then go fill the truck up with water. And then I guess get a chance, go spray. These are Duraplast tanks. Brand new sight glass there, sight gauge. Really slick. Except for I don't have a bobber to put in it. I just didn't have any on hand, and I would have put one in there. So it's kind of like squinting and looking, but like this one, pretty evident where the water is on that. Now these tanks, the back one's quite a bit bigger than the top one here, but the top one's also elevated on the deck. And then the fill spout is towards the front, so the pressure pushes most of the water to the front tank, and then it goes to the back. But the back is lower. And as you can see, this one is just now starting to run over. So it filled this first, turn that valve, and now it's gonna put all the pressure to the back tank, and I'll top that one off, and then we're good to go.
It's not good when you see little metal pieces shooting away from the air drill. I was trying to wing it out, and something broke here. I saw something, just kicked it with my foot. I know what this is. Yep, there it is. The hydraulic cylinder right there, it's got a little yoke and the pin for it. It's too late to get parts. Maybe I can find a yoke on something that I can unthread and thread this on, but I'm kind of suspecting that's not going to be an option. All right, let's make a phone call and say, hey Nick, I broke it. Come get me.
So that's the parts toolbar, and we just happen to have a third cylinder laying there. The other two had their yokes taken off. That's the part that broke. That's the part that we need.
So here's the question. Do we try to pull the yoke off, all those threads, and try to put it on the old threads, which is going to be kind of a challenge, or do we just replace the whole entire cylinder? So take the hydraulic lines off and put this on.
It's kind of it's an awkward spot to lift that up and put it in there, and it's an awkward spot to take the other one off. But
I'm leaning towards trying to put it up in there if we can.
Okay, well, we can try it.
But we need to go to the shop and get a snap ring.
Okay, so we decided It is just not in a great place to put a cylinder on it. And to change out the end's tough. We really just need to wing that thing out. So, the 844, gonna chain to the top of it, gonna slowly drive backwards and let it down, hopefully without breaking anything. And if we can get it down, then he can finish winging it out, then he can seed, and we just won't wing it up for a while, and then when we get a chance, we'll fix it. Done and done, he's ready to go. Who needs to fix that anyways? Leave it till next year.
Hey Kobe, how are you? I want to say hi to everyone. Huh? What do you think of today? I think he thinks it's perfect. Yes. Yeah, it's a perfect day. How many of you guys out there run your equipment and take your shoes off? Yeah, see, even Kobe had his shoes off.
You know, we've had these Can-Ams for almost a year now. Just about exactly. These Defenders are pretty sweet machines. I think we've gotten really spoiled with side-by-sides. Gone are the days of just running a four-wheeler around. Not that a four-wheeler doesn't have its place, but these things get used daily. I mean, look back there. There's just piles of stuff in there. There's always stuff in there. Because we're always doing stuff. And we're using these because they're great for hauling stuff. So maybe that's what we just needed all this time, was just stuff to move more stuff. Oh, that's where that went. Good thing I have a coupler so I don't lose it this time. One of the problems we have with keeping fertilizer on the farm is this stuff is just waiting to harden. It's just like, it's like cookie dough. It sits outside for a little bit, becomes rock hard. Well, that's kind of like this. It absorbs a little bit of the atmospheric moisture, and these chunks develop almost like a big chunk of ice. And it's kind of a pain to work with because these little chunks will go through and they'll end up in your air drill, and then they plug your meters. But considering the fact that we just paid for these bins with the savings this year, pretty much alone, is worth the hassle. And that savings of buying fertilizer off season when it's not in its high demand, we can get it for much less. Not always. It's kind of like oil prices. You just never know what a barrel of oil is going to be. But typically there is a season, and if you catch it on the off season, you can get a lot better savings.
I just finished this field and I'm looking up north, and there's a fire that just started and there's a bunch of black smoke. My pickup's right here. I better go take a look and see, because if it's starting to get out of hand, which there's a little wind right now, I need to take my seeder up there and drag on the fields to try to slow it down if it is. But I better go up there first to check. So let's, boy, it's getting pretty nasty. Hopefully it's under control, but it doesn't look that way. Well, I'm a couple miles out and I can see some flashing lights, so the fire department is definitely on its way. That's good. Oh man, it just sucks. I mean, in your farmyard, if it's like your building's going down, if you have like equipment in there, and you know, it's nerve-wracking because there's a lot at stake, and especially the beginning of the season when there's a lot going on. And it's sickening to think about, and it's not even my place. I don't wish this upon anybody. Looks like their main shop. Oh gosh, that sucks. Oh man. Oh, I feel for these guys. Well, on the bright side, it doesn't look like it got inside the building, so that's good. So, talking to them, what happened was it was nice and calm this morning. There was absolutely no wind. So he had some garbage. He had not garbage, but just some trash that needed to be burned. And so he had it in a burn barrel. Well, he went out and was rolling with that Mandeka roller that we had. They were renting it from us. And all of a sudden the wind picked up. A spark came out, lit a little bit of grass on fire, and then there was a big oil container there, and the oil container caught on fire. And so it burned up his pickup, but it did not go inside the building, which is such a blessing because he had some equipment and a lot of other things inside there, and that would just have been a horrible day. The pickup can be replaced, you know, things can be replaced, and the pickup is definitely insured, so it's not going to be the end of the world, but nobody's hurt. He has some kids up there. It's nerve-wracking, guys, because you know, it can happen to anybody, and even though he was being safe about it, and he's done this a million times, it just takes that one time, and things can happen. So thank you, Shelby Fire Department. You guys were quick to the scene. You got it all taken care of. And also I wanted to say thank you to all the farmers that showed up. There was a couple semis that pulled up with their water tanks, and just in case that they needed it. So that's what a community is about.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a perspective of what Kobe looks at. You know, these cabs are nice because they're glass down to the floor. He loves running in the combines, the sprayer, you know, like the Patriot, Apache, you know, those type of sprayers where they got glass clear down to the bottom. So I'm just going to show you kind of his look from the cab. Yeah, so he's got some visibility. So he's constantly looking for rabbits. Did you see any rabbits? How about gophers?
Went to town, got the part for the pickup, the belt tensioner. Dad called, he's out of seed. So I'm gonna start some trucks up, run them down there, fill the 3725 air cart, and get him going again. And maybe I'll swap with him, we'll see, I don't know. I haven't really had a lot of quad track. He's burning up those demo hours. He deserves it. But we do need to get leg arms in there. He hasn't had a chance yet. $725 bushels. That didn't take long at all. 15 minutes, maybe 20 at max. Amazing. Both trucks backed up. Just got to jockey the conveyor a little bit. You know, it's kind of your choice. You just want to move the conveyor a little bit, get maybe a truck, or do you want to move the tractor forward and back? Well, we're saving on demo hours, so we'll do the conveyor for now. But if this was our rig, if we owned all that, we'd probably just back the tractor up. Still, that's really neat. It makes you kind of think about the future.